It's the first of the month. Crack Squad got paid, and they're going shopping.
Some people's been talking about you and me. They said you found someone else to keep you company. I think you've been acting kind of funny. If you want to know, we can talk it all over tonight after the rodeo. I said inside, outside, where do you wanna be? This time's your time, our time, can't you see? Well, you look so good from your head down to your toes. So come on, baby, let me take you to the rodeo. Oh, let her go. This time's your time, our time, can't you see? Well, you look so good from your head down to your toes. So come on, baby, let me take you to the rodeo.
You know, it's kind of hard to describe how it felt, because I thought I might feel a little bit guilty. But, you know, I did give them a year. I did give them a year worth of going outside of YouTube into my private life and slandering me not because I did anything to them, but because I critiqued some other entertainer YouTuber that they like, right? And that's what they used to justify it. And I thought, you know, it might feel kind of bad, but honestly, I got this, you know, when I hit, like just as I pushed on the publish button, I got this just warm feeling of honest vengeance, bought and paid for, sort of feeling. And I sort of remembered each and every one of them at one point accusing me of being the P word. And I had that in my head, right? And then knowing that that Fred Swartz of Burlington, Kentucky, manipulated Ryan's addiction for his own selfish gain. And then I would argue that Fred Swartz is responsible for Ryan being sued right now. As much as Ryan's responsible for it, let's not forget that Fred Swartz is the one that put those conspiracies in Ryan's head, and while he was there manipulating his addiction in an attempt to get something for free. And he did, by the way, get something for free. And so, you know, that in and of itself, being as sleazy as it is, the fact that because he wouldn't apologize, Ryan's now going to be sued and lose about everything he owns. And I would argue fairly that Frederick Swartz of Burlington, Kentucky is 2/3 responsible for that happening. And he will always have that legacy to live, that he is the one that sent Ryan spiraling out of control. Because when they take all of Ryan's money, it's going to be bad. And we all know he has no defense. He can't defend what he did. And then even when they filed a suit against him, he laughed at him and made fun of him. I mean, his has no defense. You know, his response to it was to make videos wearing a shirt that said "See you in court," as if, you know, they were somehow doing something to him instead of avenging their daughter's good name. And then knowing that a few of the creatures showed back up, right? Like, okay, like one of my supporters has a thing for Linda Zajac, okay? And, you know, arguably she's not ugly, right? She wouldn't have never been my type at that, you know, just, I don't, foul-mouthed women, turn off, right? Ugh. I like ladies. I like feminine ladies. I don't like foul-mouthed, chain-smoking, beer-drinking, dog shit eating ladies, right? But listen, dude, I want you to listen to me. That's like, it's like a candy bar, right? You see it, man, you want it, you get it, and you eat it, and that sumbitch is delicious, and then 20 minutes later, your stomach's upset, and you're sitting on the toilet exploding. Okay? That's what you got here. Have you forgot she's got a slew of kids from several different baby daddies, and there are literally videos of her out there vlogging away while them babies are in the background with dirty diapers sagging down to their knees, man, with big brown spots in the middle of them. And they're like putting their dirty hands all over stuff and pulling on the blinds and yanking stuff down and crying. And there's bottles laying in the floor. It looked like they got like curdled milk in them and shit. Okay. And it's like this one bedroom efficiency. And dude, you'd eat that candy bar and you'd have an upset stomach for 3 days. I could just see, man, you go in there and then you got to go out and sit at the dining room table, and here's all these screaming brats with dirty diapers. And they're coming up and touching you.
That's so good.
You know how it would be, right? So trust me, man, you don't want that. She's going to be Linda Zajac. She's going to be in that efficiency apartment for a long, long time with them baby daddies from a dozen different baby dads, with them dirty diapers and them curdling bottles and the screaming. And I can promise you, just as sure as I'm sitting here, them kids have the discipline of a wild animal. She don't pay them kids no attention. I bet she leaves them home alone to go bang some other soldier's husband while they're out defending the country. And I'll bet a couple of them kids, that's where they came from. But yeah, so she's back, right? Now, she was the one that she showed up out of the woodwork and started dragging Zanime after Fred Swartz of Burlington, Kentucky, an alleged offender, put it in Ryan's head that Zanime was some kind of a trafficker or something. This Linda Zajac was like making all kind of comments about her service, threatening to call her superior officers, and then when it backfired on her and she got her ass reported, she sort of disappeared for a while. Well, she's back. So whoever reported her the first time, let's do it again. And she's the one in there. Let's report. Let's go CPS. Let's call Social Security. She's just all about that stuff, right? So don't feel bad, right? And then she started making videos about me because, you know, she was just absolutely just blown away by seeing an alpha male be alpha. And she couldn't handle it. I think she made like 30-some videos coming after me. But trust me, dude, I'm telling you, I know you want to eat that candy bar, but you will have an upset stomach. I promise that you will. And nobody's ever going to date her. She's going to be a smash and go, okay? She's going to meet dudes. They're going to come and smash her. They're going to see that slew of kids running around, dirty diapers and dirty clothes laying all over the floor in a sink full of dirty dishes. There's actually videos like this, folks. This isn't slander. This is just me repeating what I saw in a video. Kids with dirty diapers sagging to their knees, sink full of dirty dishes, dirty clothes all over the floor, bottles laying around look like they have curdled milk in them. Kid pulls a bowl of cereal off the table and it falls, and she just turns around, looks at it, and goes right back to vlogging. And then the kid's walking in it. I mean, you're gonna. So no dude's gonna stick around for that. She's just gonna be a smash and go till them kids get old enough to have manners, I guess, which that'll probably be when they're 20 or 30, maybe. So you don't want that candy bar. Stay away from that candy bar. And then you got Crack Squad's big buildup to revealing that everything I own just fell out of the sky. I never worked for anything. It's like I just got up one day and boom, toolbox full of worn tools shows up in front of me. And the skill to use them, just like that. Like, here I am at like 60-some years old, and boom, the shit just appears out of the sky because I never worked. That's what they're selling now, right? That's their big come up. I never worked. I'm on disability. And he's got it in his head that I'm ashamed of being on temporary disability while I was temporarily disabled. And we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, according to, and I'm trying to think, offender father. That's got a ring to it. Thomas Schwartz, the offender father. Wow, that's cool. I could probably write a song like that. Offender father. Sounds like a good hook. He was an offender father. Oh, yeah.
He was an offender father. He was an offender father.
He was an offender father. He's an offender father. Offender father. Does have a bit of a ring to it, offender father. Thomas Schwartz, the offender father. Does sound pretty good. Anyway, God, I lost my spot now. Anyway, Thomas Schwartz, the offender father, would like his low IQ listeners to believe, and they will, that I never worked. Shit just falls out of the sky. Like motorcycle, boom, fall out of the sky. Another motorcycle, boom, just fall out of the sky. Dirt bike, boom, just fall out of the sky. Hopped up power stroke truck, boom, just fall out of the sky. Brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee, boom, just fall out of the sky. Garage just appears on this lot. And the lot just appeared out of the thin air, out of the sky. And then boom, this shop just appeared on it, full of stuff. And then a lift, boom, just appeared out. I mean, this is what they're selling now that I never worked. And I'm on the disability and I'm getting the lowest amount. When that is temporary disability benefit, insurance benefits from 2014. Now, I know offender father. God, I can't get over how good that sounds. The offender father. That's your new name, Thomas. Offender father. So anyway, every time I say that, I forget what I was saying. Everything I own just fell out of the sky. I didn't work for a living, right? We were there. And then and then you look, and they're still trying to sell this notion that I'm bullying him. Somehow I'm bullying him. And he's got to avenge his kid. I mean, that's what he's selling. So that brings us to Wade Deaver, right? Because Wade Deaver, he is someone that's never worked. He is someone that's been on disability forever, right? He is someone that uses his illness as pity, right? While he's simping for Ryan Upchurch. See, I don't have to go back 10 years, 15 years, 20 years on these simpletons. I just got to show you their latest shit. And so you got... So Wade Deaver has like played on people's sympathy and pity to mooch off of them, right? Which I find to be sleazy. You never ask for something unless you absolutely positively have to have it. As far as charity, you should have already pawned everything you owned, stopped all your bad habits, and exhausted all resources before you go begging for a handout, in my opinion. And then if you need a handout because you really do need it, more power to you. But it's the people that do it that don't need it. That now, if Wade Deaver can sit on Rusty's and everyone's live stream every night, he's on a live stream every night, all night long. He could work somewhere answering the phones, in my opinion. Why couldn't he work somewhere answering the phones if he can sit on all these live streams all the time? So if you guys are worried about somebody drawing SSI benefits when they shouldn't be and abusing them, there's somebody to report, because he could easily be working. There's no reason Isaac shouldn't be working. I know dudes in wheelchairs that work. I know dudes that's got double amputees that work. I know a dude that's got hooks for arms and he runs a bulldozer all day. Okay? He could be working, not sucking off the government. Wade Deaver, and those are the people I was talking about when I said people that don't need disability drawing it. Okay, now, I'll argue I could be on disability if I wanted to be, because having a bone marrow transplant makes you eligible. It's just a no-brainer. They would give it to you. But I went right back to work full time and worked almost 2 years full time before I just said, okay, I'm going to build a shop at home and work at home. And there's a point here, okay, and the point is this. Wade tells you a year ago his doctor told him he was terminal. The cancer was so bad, it rotted out all his teeth. And he can't work and he needs your help, but he can stay up all night on everybody's live stream. We've never seen a picture of Wade that looked like this. Have we? Have we, Wade? See any pictures of you that look like this? That's almost 6 months post-surgery. I looked way worse than that when I got admitted. And there's pictures. And I went 14 months before this photo was taken to get my license renewed. I looked like this. I lost 100 pounds of weight. 100 pounds. And here, this photo is a good, I would say close to a year. I'm off the couch now, and I'm moving around a little here. And then about 6 months later, I'm here. And if you think they're Crack Squad and Offender Father, God, I love that. Offender Father. If you think Crack Squad and Offender Father that I'm even the teensy bit ashamed or embarrassed of drawing temporary disability while I'm in the hospital, getting a triple fusion in my neck and then a bone marrow transplant? No, I'm not. Not at all. Not at all. I'm proud of the fact that I went right back to work as soon as I got healthy, instead of just stayed on it and applied for permanent, which would have gave me the right, the full pay. That's temporary disability pay in 2014. But anyway, have at it. Have fun with it, because I can promise you there's not one person outside of your circle jerk knowing this would even question somebody that's worked as hard as I have all my life, drawing temporary disability for 7 months, and filing for medical bankruptcy protection because I was the primary breadwinner. Most of our income stopped. My wife had to miss so much work, taking me back and forth, going for surgeries. I had to go get platelets 3 times a week for the first 6 months. 3 times a week I had to go from here an hour and 20 minutes to the James Cancer Center. Hour 20 minutes one way, 3 times a week. And couldn't drive myself. My wife had to take me, or had to get somebody to take me. Most of the time she took me. And see, the reason why they did this triple fusion is, they kept blowing me off. I don't think any of the specialists or any of the doctors that I was going to see at the time took my weight loss serious. They would hear me tell them I was rapidly losing weight, but it didn't register with them that I was rapidly losing weight. Okay, because they never saw me before. They're looking at this, they're thinking I'm some kind of like crackhead or something, right? Because I look worse than Wade Deaver. And so this happened. It was a fatality accident. I was life flighted from the scene. And they thought, and it damaged my spinal cord when that happened. I was really stowed up good for a while. Still was able to work some. I missed some work, but not a lot. Nothing compared to with the cancer. And so they thought that this spinal cord damage was, your spine runs through a tunnel in your in the bones in your neck that go up. And they thought that was pushed forward and rubbing. So they talked me into getting hardware put in. I got 3 big plates and hinges in there. And you can see the scarring right here. There's where it went in. Right there. And neck. So I go in. I get this triple fusion done. I'm in a neck brace. They tell me at least 6 weeks or 6 months before I can go back to work. Stay off my feet as much as possible. Let this thing heal. And I go home, and nothing's changed. I still feel really bad. I have the nerves in my legs and my feet were just on fire. And I just sat and rocked and fucking rubbed my legs, because they just burnt like fire and it wouldn't stop. And I had no appetite. Food just repulsed me, and I just was rapidly losing weight. And I went back up there. I'll never forget when I went up there the first time. I was so sick that day. I was so weak. I was so tired. I couldn't hardly make it from the parking garage down to the emergency room. I had to sit down and rest like 3 times. And when that nurse did my blood test, they came out with a cookie and a thing of chocolate milk and said, you got to eat this now. You have no blood sugar reading at all. You are very close to some organs shutting down or going into a coma. And so that 3 days later is when they finally did diagnose it as a rare strain of lymphoma that was hiding from them the whole time. So then, I get a anonymous bone marrow donor that to this day, I don't know who it was, but I got an anonymous bone marrow donor and started feeling better right away. And as soon as my feet hit the floor, I went back to work. So you can sit over there and run your pie hole all you want. Everybody watching my channel knows what you shit stains have done for a year. trolling me outside of YouTube because I avenged all the innocent people that Frederick Swartz of Burlington, Kentucky, an alleged offender, and Ryan Upchurch did. And you guys have been attacking me outside of YouTube for a solid year. And there ain't nothing any of you are going to say to change that. I've proved you wrong time and time again. Your little doctored up bullshit paperwork's a fucking joke. It's nonsense. You couldn't even find somebody that could spell good enough to write something. And you couldn't even get the dates right, and you had a year to do it. You had a year to do it, and you didn't even get the dates right. And now you're gonna try to pretend that by default, temporary disability benefits of a measly $1,300 is what carries me today. You're out of your mind, dude. You couldn't pay the electric bill here with that money. You couldn't pay the fucking electric bill. You understand people seeing videos that I'm not broke, right? I bet there's $4,000 in fucking podcast shit sitting right here on this desk. No one's buying that bullshit, dude. Just quit it. Ryan Upchurch is still getting sued. Your best slander attempt, and guess what? Ryan Upchurch is still getting sued. Frederick Swartz of Burlington, Kentucky, an alleged offender, is responsible for Ryan Upchurch being sued because he's the one that pumped the conspiracies in his head when Ryan was whacked out of his mind on dope because he wanted to get him confused and all caught up in the true crime shit so he could mooch a truck off of him, and it worked. Everybody knows that. He was on Instagram bragging the next day that he mooched a truck off another man. And and your dopey kid, Rusty, we don't have to go back offender father. I got to remember to call you offender father. Your dopey kid, offender father. We don't have to go back 20 years, 13 years, 18 years. We don't have to try to embarrass him for getting some disability benefits while he was actually disabled with lymphoma, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and having to get a bone marrow transplant. Because had your dopey kid went through what I went through, he would still be on disability. And so would you. And so would Newcock. All of you would. Because you're lazy. See, save it. No one's buying that shit, dude. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me any. Because I got sense enough to know anybody with an IQ above a 2 knows my work history's real. My work history's very real. And we aren't doing what I'm doing over here on $1,300 a month. I get this Social Security money. For fuck's sakes, dude. What made you think people would believe that? Anyway, you got to admit when you're wrong sometimes, right? So I was wrong about something. As hard as that is to believe, I was wrong. Okay. And I thought, well, there can't possibly ever be a world championship for bass speakers. for some kid, some hat backwards wigger with a Honda Civic with a big old can muffler and a cracked windshield and screechy wiper blades going down the road. There can't be a world championship for anything like that, right? Who would travel the whole world competing against people in every country, in every city, in every town to become the world champion? And I was wrong. I found a picture of a Fender dad toting his speakers through Guatemala. Oh, the characters in Crack Squad are a trip, man. They're just a trip. You look at how thin AD is. That guy sat on that live stream. He trash-mouthed Rusty for hours on end. He trash-mouthed Power Stroke. He trash-mouthed Upchurch for hours on end. And all he did then was start repeating the same shit about me that they've said, and he's their fucking hero now. And they're actually defending him. When he was supporting me, he was stolen valor. He was a punk. They were going to kick his ass. His wife was a hoe. He was trash mouthing all of, and then he just turns and whoop, makes a video about me. Oh, listen, oh, come here. We love you. We love you. Come join us. Oh, help us stop PBR. Help us. Hey, offender father. Offender father. Offender father. Offender father. That sounds so good. I love it. Offender father. Offender father. The shit your dopey kid did's not going away. Ryan Upchurch is getting sued. And I'm going to remind the internet what a piece of shit father you are, raising an offender, being an offender father. And instead of making him apologize, now his legacy, your stupid kid's legacy, he's going to be the person that got Ryan Upchurch sued into bankruptcy while taking advantage of his addiction. You realize we're going on a year now of Ryan turning on his camera, pupils the size of dinner plates, and just not being himself at all? A year of it now. It's bad. This is bad. All that crap he said about his mom, turns out barely any of it was true. It was proven that Ryan was at the signing for that house. And they actually brought in video camera footage of him being there. And then he tried to get his mom to settle out of court for nothing if she would just sign an NDA. And she said no. Her lawyer's like, no, we're not. That red brick house that he claimed his mom bought has never been sold to anyone outside the family that built that home sold it to their daughter who has the same maiden name as Ryan's mom's maiden name. That's how B-Loose tricked Ryan into believing that he was associated with that place. And then the house that Tamara was in, Ryan made a video saying he took his band equipment there. So all that crap he said about his mom turns out not true, and that really damaged Ryan's brand bad, slandering his parents like that, big fucking pupils. And to think that Fred Swartz, alleged offender of Burlington, Kentucky, is responsible for all that. And his dad is in a panic mode. The offender father is in a panic mode, thinking, if he can just embarrass me, I'll go away. I'm not going away. I'm not embarrassed of drawing temporary disability while I laid in the hospital fighting the disease I had to fight. It was quite painful and very depressing, and I almost died. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed to file medical bankruptcy, not one bit. That's why they have things like that. It's for that reason. And but I'd go buy a brand new car tomorrow if I wanted to. Got one sitting right out in the driveway. It's got We got about 2,500 miles on it now. And they're like 60 grand. And so you just keep running your mouth, and I'll keep holding your boy accountable from my basement.